Asia's PMI manufacturing in September surpasses China. AJAY becomes the Indonesian 7th unicorn. Hello, good evening viewers. Market Headlines is ready to provide you information from business, economic and capital market sector. And as the pandemic is still ongoing, we'll provide you the latest COVID-19 information. Please stay safe by taking some simple precautions such as physical distancing, wearing a mask, avoiding crowds, cleaning your hands and having less mobility. And with me, Fajar Wayong, this is Market Headline. Let's open up Market Headline. President Joko Widodo inaugurated the new terminal for Mopa Airport in Merauke, Papua. The president said that currently Mopa Airport has a new passenger terminal of 7,200 square meters with a capacity of around 638,000 passengers per year. Jokowi hopes that the existence of this new terminal can improve service quality for passengers. In the future, he continued, the airport terminal capacity will continue to be increased to anticipate the increase in community mobility and existing economic activities. And for information, the airport development itself is a form of support from the Ministry of Transportation in the context of the successful implementation of the 2021 National Sports Weeks in Papua.
Hadirin yang saya hormati, Bandara Mopa Merauke yang berada di ujung paling timur Indonesia ini terus kita kembangkan. Hari ini sudah selesai pembangunan terminal penumpang yang baru seluas 7.200 meter persegi dengan kapasitas 638.000 penumpang per tahun. Ini sangat besar sekali. Dan terminal baru ini kita harapkan bisa meningkatkan kualitas pelayanan terhadap penumpang.
Mohon perhatian, Presiden Republik Indonesia.
Meantime, the number of passengers on various modes of transportation has begun to increase in line with the easing of the implementation of activity restrictions or PPKM in recent weeks. The number of passengers on various modes of transportation has begun to increase in line with the easing of the implementation of community activity restrictions or PPKM in recent weeks. The increase occurred in passengers from airplanes to trains. In airplane mode, one of the increases occurred at Soekarno-Hatta International Airport, Banten. It was noted that the increase reached 300% during the PPKM easing period in September 2021, compared to when PPKM began to be implemented last July. Meanwhile, after the PPKM has been relaxed, it has reached 40,000 to 45,000 passengers per day. However, this number of passengers has not yet reached normal conditions before PPKM was implemented. Similarly, Kereta Api Indonesia also stated that there had been an increase in the number of long-distance train passengers during the PPKM easing period. Initially, the average number of passengers was 10,343 passengers per day in July 2021, or when PPKM came into effect. However, when PPKM was slowly relaxed, the average number rose 10.76% to 11,456 passengers per day in August 2021. Meanwhile, in September 2021, the average number of long-distance train passengers had reached 17,599 passengers per day, an increase of 70.15% from the early days of PPKM. IDX Channel. reports. The Ministry of Industry stated that Indonesia's Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index in September 2021 reached 52.2, or jumped from 43.7 in August. This increase shows that the domestic industry is expanding, and this achievement has even surpassed the PMI of a number of other countries. Indonesia's PMI in September 2021 surpassed the achievements of other Asian countries such as China and Japan, and became the highest among other Southeast Asian countries such as Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, the Philippines, and Vietnam. With the return of the expansive manufacturing sector, Agus Gumiwang Kartasasmita believes that the industrial growth target of 5% in 2022 can be achieved. The results of HIS market survey show that the increase in manufacturing PMI in Indonesia is due to the easing of social restrictions in various regions in Indonesia due to declining number of COVID-19 cases. In September 2021, both output and new orders increased after 2 months of sharp declines. In addition, demand for the manufacturing industry has returned after the public health situation improved and restrictions on movement were relaxed so as to support economic activity. And viewers, moving on to global update, China is tightening political control over internet giants. Meanwhile, Boris Johnson says the UK is in a period of adjustment after Brexit as the country faces petrol shortage and supply chain issues. And more stories on today's International Minute. The ruling Communist Party is tightening political control over China's internet giants and tapping their wealth to pay for its ambitions to reduce reliance on US and European technology. Anti-monopoly and data security crackdowns starting in late 2020 have shaken the industry, which flourished for 2 decades with little regulation. Investor jitters have knocked more than $1.3 trillion of the total market value of e-commerce platform Alibaba, games and social media operator Tencent, and other tech giants. Tesla says it delivered 241,300 electric vehicles in the third quarter, even as it wrestled with a global shortage of computer chips that has hit the entire auto industry. The Palo Alto, California company sales from July through September beat Wall Street estimates of 227,000 sales worldwide, according to data provider FactSet. Third quarter sales rose 72% over the 140,000 deliveries Tesla made for the same period a year ago. So far this year, Tesla has sold around 627,300 vehicles. That puts it on pace to soundly beat last year's total of 499,550. Boris Johnson says the UK is in a period of adjustment after Brexit and COVID as the country faces petrol shortage and supply chain issues. A lack of HGV drivers and high demand plunged the UK into a fuel crisis last week with lengthy queues and closures. Worries persist about the cost of living as food and energy prices rise, alongside cuts to universal credit. But the PM insisted his plan for a higher wage, higher skilled economy would offer a long-term solution. Russia on Sunday reported a record daily death toll from COVID-19, the 5th time in a week that deaths have hit a new high. The National Coronavirus Task Force said 890 deaths were recorded over the past day, exceeding the 887 reported on Friday. The task force also said the number of new infections in the past day was the second highest of the year at 25,769. Overall, Russia, a nation of 146 million people, has Europe's highest death toll from the pandemic, nearly 210,000 people. IDX Channel reports. Market headlines. We'll be right back with the other information. Stay tuned on us.
Ayo pakai masker, ayo cepat vaksin.
Karena dia ini kan dikenalnya sebagai seorang influencer kesehatan. Sebenarnya sudah berapa lama sih menggeluti dunia, fokus ke dunia kesehatan ini, gaya hidup sehat?
Aku dari 2009 lah mulai start olahraga dan menjalani hidup sehat tuh dari 2009. Olahraga dan healthy lifestyle tuh memang udah jadi bagian dari hidup aku. Yang bikin aku konsisten tuh karena ada aftermath feelingnya kalau misalnya udah nyoba suatu hal.
Welcome back on Market Headlines. Finance Minister Sri Mulyani stated that the government spent 10.43 trillion rupiah in state funds for the 20th National Sports Week event in Papua from 2 to 15 October 2021. In detail, the government provided a budget through the Additional Infrastructure Fund of 881.5 billion rupiah and the budget of ministries of 211.2 billion in 2018. Then the government disbursed another infrastructure supplemental fund of 716.5 billion rupiah and the Papua Special Autonomy Fund of 1.1 trillion rupiah in 2018. In addition, the government also provided a revenue sharing fund of 1.7 trillion rupiah, a fiscal special allocation fund of 82.53 billion rupiah, and an institutional budget of 758.93 billion in the same year. In 2020, the government will disburse additional infrastructure funds of around 140.5 billion rupiah, Papua Special Autonomy Fund of 1.44 trillion rupiah, and in 2021, the government provided a budget for ministries of 793.73 billion rupiah and central government assistance through the Ministry of Youth and Sports to Papua of 1.58 trillion rupiah. Regarding the merger of Palindo, SOE Minister Erick Thohir said that the merger of the companies into one port holding company will be followed by the formation of a sub-holding. The goal is that sub-holding can encourage its operational activities. The merger of Pelabuhan Indonesia or Palindo was officially marked by the signing of a presidential regulation by President Joko Widodo. After the merger, all Palindo Group entities are under the umbrella of Pelabuhan Indonesia. Therefore, shareholders are targeting Palindo Group's container terminals to be included in the 8 largest terminals in the world. SOE Minister Erick Thohir noted that the merger of the companies into one port holding company will be followed by the formation of a sub-holding. The goal is that sub-holding can encourage its operational activities. As the main operator of a number of ports in Indonesia, the presence of 4 companies in one new holding is also considered capable of providing integrated and standardized services, where the service at one port will be the same as the other port. Indonesian Supply Chain Chairman Setiadi hopes that the Palindo merger can contribute to reducing economic inequality, in particular the economic disparity between regions. Deputy Minister of State-Owned Enterprises II, Kartika Wiryoatmojo, say the Palindo merger had the goal of increasing the effectiveness and efficiency of national ports. IDX Channel reports. The Central Statistics Agency reported that the number of foreign tourist arrivals in August 2021 reached 127.3 thousand visits. This figure is down 6% on a monthly basis and down 21.19% on an annual basis. Head of BPS Margo Yuwono explained that the decline in the number of foreign tourist visits since August 2021 could not be separated from the COVID-19 pandemic. This can be seen from the cumulative data, where the Central Statistics Agency reported the number of foreign tourist visits to Indonesia during the period from January to August 2021 amounted to 1.06 million visits, or has decreased to 69.17% compared to the same period in the previous year. Margo detailed from the total 127.31 thousand foreign tourist visits in August 2021, tourists coming from the Southeast Asian region experienced the highest decline, reaching 31.19%. When viewed by nationality, foreign tourists visiting Indonesia in August 2021 were dominated by Timor-Leste foreign tourists, as many as 75.72 thousand visits, or reaching 59.47% throughout August 2021.
Periode yang lalu, kalau dibandingkan tahun yang lalu pada periode yang sama, ya, itu turunnya cukup tajam, 69,17%. Ya, jadi bahkan kalau dibandingkan tahun-tahun sebelumnya, 2019, 2018 gitu yang warna biru, ya, maka kita memang terhambat karena masalah masih pandemi gitu, sehingga kunjungan Wisman ke Indonesia juga mengalami pengurangan yang cukup signifikan, ya, selama Januari-Agustus 2021.
After successfully raising Series B funding worth $153 million, the AJAY Stock and Mutual Fund Investment Application has officially become the 7th unicorn in Indonesia. After successfully raising Series B funding worth $153 million, or approximately 2.2 trillion rupiah, using the current exchange rate, the Stock and Mutual Fund Investment Application AJAY has officially become the 7th unicorn in Indonesia and the first fintech unicorn investment in Southeast Asia. For information, this achievement was obtained by AJAY in the first 2.5 years of its operation. Currently, AJAY can be judged as the fastest startup to achieve unicorn status in Southeast Asian history. This funding brings the total amount raised by AJAY to $243 million in 2021. The Series B funding that AJAY received was led by DSD Global, together with leading investors namely Alpha GWC, Rebit Capital, Horizons Ventures, Insignia Ventures, and SoftBank Ventures Asia. And to note, DSD Global and Rebit Capital are also big investors in Robinhood, a stock investment fintech in the United States that is often paired with AJAY. This also proves that the advancement of technology and capital market capabilities in Indonesia is able to compete with the global market. AJAY Group co-founder and CEO Anderson Sumarli said that AJAY will use the funds to massively recruit top talent and conduct educational campaigns to inspire more budding investors. IDX Channel reports. Stay with us because market headlines will be back with informations from the capital market.
Ya halo pemirsa, nama saya Mangivera Tjong. Saat ini saya menjabat sebagai presenter dan juga associate producer. Saat ini saya membawakan program IDX Conversation Closing, di mana di program tersebut saya menganalisa isu-isu ekonomi yang menarik, baik dari luar negeri maupun juga dari dalam negeri. Tentunya hingga saat ini saya masih terus belajar dan saya sangat menikmati profesi tersebut.
Seiring meluasnya cakrawala investasi di tengah pasar saham yang dinamis. Analisa mendalam diperlukan untuk menemukan saham berorientasi value yang menghasilkan kinerja yang tinggi. IDX Channel akan mengulas isu pasar dan pergerakan saham terkini. Saksikan ulas bersama analis terpercaya hanya di IDX Channel.
Otoritas Jasa Keuangan menyikapi pernyataan Majelis Ulama Indonesia atau MUI yang meminta pelarangan pinjaman online.
Indeks kita bergerak di dalam kondisi sideways atau membentuk complex correction.
Welcome back on Market Headlines. At the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement, earlier today, JCI was open at the level of 6,273.44. And then approaching the closing time of the session, the index was on the level of 6,322.44. And then the index was showing strengthening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at the level of 6,342.69. And in short, Jakarta Composite Index went up 1.83%. And moving on to top gainers and top losers. Here are the key highlights from today's trading session. Top gainers, Bumi went up 23.53% to the level of 84 rupiah per share. ITMG went up 16.06% to the level of 24,575 rupiah per share. TRIM went up 15.09% to the level of 366 rupiah per share, and MDKA went up 14.23% to the level of 2,810 rupiah per share. And from top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading. CBMF went down 7% to the level of 93 rupiah per share. OPMS went down 6.94% to the level of 161 rupiah per share. Kota went down 5.84% to the level of 145 rupiah per share, and Arka went down 5.13% to the level of 74 rupiah per share. And next, we're going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Open at the level of 14,300, rupiah showing strengthening trend towards US dollar, and was closed at the level of 14,230. In summary, rupiah went up 0.49%. The Jarum Group, through Palindo, officially acquired a 94.03% stake in Solusi Tunas Pertama. The purchase of the shares is worth 16.72 trillion rupiah. The Jarum Group, through Professional Telekomunikasi Indonesia or Palindo, a subsidiary of Sarana Menara Nusantara, officially acquired a 94.03% stake in Solusi Tunas Pertama. The purchase of the shares is worth 16.72 trillion rupiah. This was disclosed by the company through a letter addressed to the member of the Board of Commissioners as well as the Chief Executive of the Capital Market Supervisory Financial Services Authority, M. Hussein. The submission is also published in the Information Disclosure of the Indonesia Stock Exchange. The management explained that the value came from the purchase of 1.06 billion shares at a price of 15,640 per share. The acquisition was made to develop Prasetyon's business in the future. Furthermore, the company will carry out a mandatory tender offer in accordance with OJK Regulation Number 9 of 2018 concerning takeover of public companies. IDX Channel reports. Nusa has prepared a capital expenditure in 2022 of 700 billion rupiah, an increase of 10% from the 2021 allocation of 600 billion rupiah. Nusa has prepared a capital expenditure in 2022 of 700 billion rupiah, an increase of 10% from the 2021 capex of 600 billion rupiah. Until August 2021, the company's realized capex reached 259 billion rupiah. The Director of Human Resources and General Affairs, as well as the Director of Finance of Al-Nusa, Teni Elfrida, say that what often becomes an obstacle in capex is the realization of expenditure. Even so, Teni is optimistic that spending this year will still be absorbed according to the target. This is because the investment spent is not only to realize the 2021 program, but also the postponed 2020 program. Therefore, the capex in 2022 will increase by around 700 billion. Teni explained that the 2021 capex is focused on investing in equipment that supports the business continuity of Al-Nusa Group, such as hydraulic workovers, slickline combos, and wireline logging. Meanwhile, for operational support, capex will be invested in radio trunking projects, support barges, and dry docking barges. In addition to focusing on developing upstream services, Al-Nusa also plans to invest in downstream infrastructure, such as tankers, fuel oil terminals, and depots. IDX Channel reports. During the first 6 months of this year, shoe manufacturer Bata recorded a net loss of 33.67 billion rupiah, or better than the same period in 2020 with a net loss of 74.5 billion rupiah. Bata's published financial report for first half of 2021 stated that the decline in Bata's net loss was mainly supported by the company's ability to reduce cost of goods sold to 137.9 billion rupiah from 174.86 billion rupiah in the first semester of 2020. Meanwhile, Bata's total net sales in the first half of this year were recorded at 237.36 billion rupiah, or slightly higher than the same period in 2020 of 230.93 billion rupiah. With these results, Bata's gross profit for the first 6 months of this year was recorded at 99.36 billion. Meanwhile, Bata's operating loss in first semester was recorded at 38.14 billion rupiah, or much lower than the operating loss in the same period in 2020 of 87.31 billion rupiah. And viewers, step aside from market condition as the efforts in achieving herd immunity is still going on. Here it is, an update data about COVID-19 vaccinations in Indonesia. And the news close our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic, business, and capital market channel. And viewers, to prevent the spread of COVID-19, always wear a mask and get vaccinated immediately. Masks have been shown to reduce the risk of transmission by 80%, while vaccines minimize the risk of death by 73%. So let's wear a mask and get vaccinated, because masks and vaccines keep us healthy and happy. And I'm Fajar Wayong. Have a nice evening and stay safe.